Happy Wine Down Wednesday, everyone. It's your girl, Lauren Mathis Cornish from Love Story Mobile Winery. Welcome back to my channel where we talk of all things wine. If you're new to me, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Lauren Mathis Cornish, and I am the creator of Love Story Mobile Winery and also an independent wine consultant with Wine Shop at Home. And this is my channel where we talk of all things wine. I specialize in wine tastings, wine making, wine reviews, wine cocktail making classes and parties, and so much more. And this is my channel where we have a great time with over a glass of wine and just kiki and have a good time. If you're new to me, let me just say thank you for tuning in. I need you to do 4 things before we get started with the video today. I need you to like, I need you to subscribe, I need you to hit the notification button for each and every time that I drop a video, and also share. I need you to share this so we can grow as a lovers community, and just share with your wine lover friends and family members so we can just have a great time and just grow our community and just have a great time over some fabulous wine. Without any further ado, we're going to introduce to you all the wine choices, the wine of the day, and also talk about what we're going to talk about today. Today is, like I said, we're going to be doing something a little different on a Wine Down Wednesdays. On Wine Down Wednesdays, we're going to be discussing one of my new favorite shows. And I know if you're a wine lover like mine, and maybe you don't know about it yet, but I've been putting you on game about it. It is a new show on OWN Network, and it is called The Kings of Napa. It is an all-black show. It is a black show about an amazing family, in the wine dynasty, and it's a black-owned winery, and they are trying to keep their winery together after the sudden loss of the CEO and the father and patriarch of their family, Reginald King. So we are going to be doing our review today. On the 3rd episode is what's port got to do with it. And so today's wine that we are going to be selecting, since they're going to be talking about sweet wines, is our Suave Bang. Our Suave Bang. And this is our sweet rosé. Okay, our sweet sparkling rosé. So that is going to be the wine that we're going to be showcasing today. That is the wine of the day. So without any further ado, let's get into what we all need to talk about. This brand new episode of What's Port Got to Do with It. Baby, have you all seen it last night? I'm going to tell you, it's getting better and better with time. Last night, as the family, they're still a ride trying to, come together, after the death of the family, and then also finding out that Vanessa's sister had cheated, and had a love child with Reggie, and they made Bridget, and the auntie Vanessa, she finding out that that Bridget is not only her niece but her stepdaughter, and she is just going to ride, and hell has no fury like a woman scorned. So right now, August and Dana is trying to bring the family together and trying to keep the winery afloat. And so, trying to keep the winery open and afloat. And she was thinking of something innovative, and she wanted to come out with sweet wines. And so Dana and her had both agreed, yes, okay, we could have sweet wines, but they had a different view. She wanted to come out with a port of sweet wines, and he wanted to come out with one. She wanted to come out with something that was just legendary and just, grand and over the top, and of course, luxury. But he wanted to come up with something that is, a little more affordable on affordable rate. And so, she hired, since she was forced to fire Bridget, who was the winery manager. They was forced to bring in one of their former winery managers, former winery managers, and also winemaker, and they call her the bougie winemaker and old time family friend. And so August brought her in, and and she began to, she gave them a price of how much she would charge for her fee, because she said, hey, she was retired. She was retired. She wanted to live a life of leisure and luxury, and she was just, she wanted to enjoy her time. And so, but August said, August let her know, hey, I need you to make this, help me make this happen so I can save the winery and keep it going. And so she agreed to, to come in. While Dana, on the other hand, he, of course, he's looking at the entire, well, he's looking at the financial perspective because the Kings are also, come to find out, are being exploited or extorted by an anonymous person that, had some issues with their father. So while they're, like I said, they're dealing with, trying to keep the winery afloat, dealing with the death of their father, and also the king of their winery, they're also dealing with the extortionists as well. So he says, listen, we cannot afford this this bougie winemaker and also the extortionists and trying to keep the business, and the family afloat. And so she said, listen, by any means necessary, we're going to make that. August said, listen, by any means, Dana, we're going to, by any means necessary, Dana, we're going to make this happen. And, sure enough, he said, okay, well, how about this? How about we do a wine, a winemaker's or wine tasting, and we do a vote, and whoever gets the most votes of the family, at the tasting room, whoever gets the most votes, we get to choose who we want as the new, as to bring in the new winemaker. So they agreed. And so, of course, they're running around, a good family competition. There's nothing wrong with it. And, and so they're running around and trying to get the votes and trying to get everyone to vote on their side. So they say, hey, we're going to have a wine tasting. So, fast forward. Miss Vanessa, honey, she is trying to burn down the kingdom and anybody who knew any and everything about the affair that happened between her husband and her sister. Now, when you talk about hell has no fury like a woman scorned, baby, she is cutting off all kinds of access. She already cut her sister out. The family. She fired her niece / stepdaughter, even though that child was innocent. She had nothing to do with anything. She didn't know anything, and she really is close with her cousins / half siblings, and her and her aunt / stepmother. And so she's just a poor what is it she's a casualty in the situation because her sister couldn't keep her legs closed to marry men. And so this so she's going around looking for evidence to try to find out how long or what else she has or what's going on, what other kind of information that she had going on with her husband. Her sister had going on with her husband. So she comes and sneaks to our house. She knocked on the door. The sister wasn't there. And so then she goes and peeps. And a neighbor sees, a caring neighbor sees her. And she was like, look, I'm here. And the caring neighbor had walked past. So then she went around the side of the house and she got in. She got in from the back door. And she went into the bedroom and searched into her laptop. And voila magic, she saw pictures of her husband and her niece and her husband and sister and her niece / stepdaughter taking a picture at the beach. And so she gets all dramatic. You said you didn't like beaches or like the beach. You didn't like the sand. You never took me there. Being all dramatic, right? Understandably so. She's upset. She is heartbroken. I mean, who would not be heartbroken over their husband having that whole affair with their sister and making a baby by her? And they kept this a secret for 30-something years. Now, baby, I'm telling you right now, it couldn't be me. Because my sister, I love her dearly. But somebody would have been buying somebody else's mama a black dress or well, somebody else. I would have been buying my niece my niece slash stepdaughter a black dress. I wouldn't have took it out on my niece. I would have took care of my niece. But my sister, oh no, baby, hell has no. She would have caught these hands, feet, knees, and elbows, cause ain't no way. But then again, like in the situation as they said before, her husband was separated. The wife was cheating with somebody else, but you still don't. I mean, if you want to go out here and you want to sleep with somebody, I mean, do it. I mean, if you separated and you supposed to be planning a divorce, all bets are off. I understand that, but you don't go and sleep with your sister husband. Who does that? That is so not classy. But anywho, back to the story. She ends up sleeping. Well, she ends up, finding out that her sister and her husband were going on trips together at the beach, and she, got all distraught. So before she can go and do any more research, her sister comes back home, and so she goes and hides in the closet. So her sister comes back home from a shopping trip with her her sister-in-law, Reggie's sister. And they have a little girl kiki conversation, and she hides in the closet. And as Vanessa's sister begins to open the closet and put her clothes away, of course she doesn't pay attention. She doesn't see her because she's enjoying the conversation with with her sister-in-law. And so they get to talking about, how they regret, she was like, hey, I regret sleeping with him. But then she said, but I wouldn't have I wouldn't have Bridget. And then, come to find out, the sister-in-law, who everybody loves and who everybody goes to, she's the family confidant. She's the fashionable plus size wigista. And come to find out, she knew about the affair. So Vanessa, she fuming in her head, fire coming from her damn brain, smoke coming from her brain, because she just all pissed as hell. So they go to the next scene, and so the next scene where they show Vanessa, she comes back to the house. She gets all dressed up and she calls for her sister-in-law to come down and have dinner with her. What she thought was a family dinner, it was actually just I'm gonna put your ass out dinner. That's how she did it, okay? So she went out here, so she called her down, cussed her out, said, how could you not tell me about my husband, having an affair with my sister? You knew. She said, I can't. She said, listen, she said, I keep everybody's secrets in the house. I don't tell anything that goes on in this house. What goes on between me and everybody else stays between me and everybody else. And that's how she was like, I kept your secrets. And she was like, just like you made bad business deals and just like you wanted to, just like you made bad business deals, you had an affair, you did all of this, and then also you wanted to abort Dana. Now, as she says, you wanted to abort Dana. Dana walks in the room. Now, let me be honest about Dana. I think that Dana has, number one, he's the oldest boy, okay? But I think that August is the oldest child, okay? August is the oldest child. She's the dependable child. She's the one that has been running she's the one that has been running running the winery and running the business with her father. She is actually, this is her business that her father started for her. So this is her, she is the face, the brain, and everything of the business. But August, he has, like I said, he wants to, he wants things to go his way, and also he wants to be, the king of the house now that the father is gone, now that Mr. Reggie is gone. But also, he has some insecurities of his own. I think that he also has the Napoleon complex syndrome. If you don't know what that is, short man syndrome. He has the short man syndrome where they're all loud, boisterous, and wrong at all times. And they always want to prove that I'm king, I'm supposed to be the chosen one. He has that going on. And so, but he walks in and hears that his aunt well, that his mother had, at one point in time when she was pregnant with him, wanted to abort him. And you wanted to abort me? And runs off like a little baby. Understanding he's hurt. But he runs off like he's a little baby onto someone else. And onto his room, confining in his wife, and he won't come out. Okay. And so, as the family, the mother, she tries to come and console him and explain to him, the situation of what was going on, and try to, also try to console him and let him know that I love you. You're my baby. The past is the past. You're here, and you're here, and I love you. You're my child. So fast forward, they have the wine tasting, and so they bring in. Well, he brings in the winemakers that he wants, and then she also brings in the winemakers that she wants, and they have a wine tasting. Now, let me tell you, as a wine business owner, you cannot make sweet wines and port wines just at the drop of the hat like that. You just can't. It can't happen. It takes a while to like I said, you have to have the right grapes, the sugars and everything, and and you just don't throw, you just don't throw grapes in the juice, and grapes in grapes in the tank, crush it, and voila magic, it make and put sugar in it, and voila magic, it makes wine. It just don't happen like that. Everything doesn't happen that fast, okay? So I just wanted to put that out there. But they have a tasting, and so they start the wine tasting, and so they said that they said August wine is very it's very smooth. They love the taste, and it's very smooth, but it has a lot of pizzazz, and they love it. And whilst others, they like the approach that August had went. They loved his well, not August, I'm sorry, Dana. They loved August wine, but they also loved Dana's wine. And so when he thinks that he has, he has all the 4 votes. Well, he got his mother's vote. No, I'm sorry. His mother took his sister's vote. His aunt took took August's vote. Well, the aunt took August's vote. And the Brittany. And Brittany took his vote, and he had 4 votes. Well, he thought he had 4 votes. He had 3 votes, and she thought that she had 4. He automatically thought that his wife was going to be voting for him. His wife is the PR person in the PR person in the wine business, in their wine business. And so while everybody said they thought that she was going to vote for him. She actually went and voted for August, and so all the votes went to August, and August hired the winemaker of choice that she wanted. And so, fast forward, we get to know a little bit also about Dana's wife. And Dana's wife is a beautiful woman, and she come to find out, and she's a beautiful woman who loves her husband and supports her husband in every way, and also she supports the family in every way. And so everybody thinks that of course she's all about Dana, but we also get to learn a lot about her. We learn that she is an art. That she loves amazing art. We learn that she also is a writer. She before she met Dana, she was a writer. She was working on her novel, and she is just a lover of the arts. And we find out that she is just this, she is this well-rounded woman, who is more than meets the eye, and more than just a beautiful chocolate arm, a chocolate goddess on her husband's arm, but she has her own dreams that she put aside for her husband, and she has her own voice. That she, even though she loves her husband, of course, She has her own voice, her own opinion, her own views, and she's starting to get to express herself in her in her journey. And I'm glad to start seeing just just meeting who she is, and um just meeting who she is, and just giving her a voice, and you know and just finding out who they are. So this was a great episode that I loved. And and we're also going to see how they're going to be marketing the wines and everything else. But I fell in love with this show. This is an amazing show that I think that that I think that OWN has a hit. I really do. Like I said, I gave you all the review before. This is the review now. Like I said, I am all in. I love this show. I'm fully invested as a small black wine business, and just a lover of Oprah Winfrey Network. I mean, honey, let's be honest. She has Tyler Perry and everything, but I love the direction of her show. It's a great new soap opera. I will put this up. It's a great new soap opera, yes, with the twist. Your modern day soap operas, you all know. Back in the day when soap operas, came out, I know it was, grandmas used to watch them. But this is like our little version, a little cute, a little pizzazz, great fashion, great wine, and like I said, this is, she had Tyler Perry over, he was doing Half and Half Nots and all those other shows that was doing good. And this is another, this is another show that she's bringing to us. And like I said, I love it and I'm all in. But you all drop down in the comments. Tell me all what you all think about this episode. It is a great episode that you all need to watch. I would encourage you all to take a look. They also go and try to investigate more into who is extorting the family, because they want to put a stop to it. I mean, who is this man, and what is all the dealings? Well, and they also get into the dealings of the father and who he had enemies with, and he's, they're starting to find out who the enemies are. Well, they're getting to they're getting not getting well, they're getting to starting to open up the gates of what is going on in the business dealings, and in business mishaps that their father was getting into, their father and their husband was getting into. But I want you all to drop down in the comments and tell me all what you think about this show. And also, if you would like another review of the show, well, you know what? No, we're just going to stay right here. We're going to be doing this review every single Wednesday. I want you all to drop in the comments. Tell me if you're watching this show. I'm just telling you all, please watch this show. This is a really great show. And I'm going to also tell you something. As a small black wine business owner myself, it is refreshing. Well, I'm going to say this. I'm a lover of wine. I've been a lover of wine for a long time, and going into the journey of being a wine business owner, I want to tell you, it is an amazing, but it is a long and hard journey, because for a long time we thought that this, the journey of being a wine business owner, it is for the posh, the wealthy, other ethnic groups, and for a long time it was shut. The doors were shut in our faces. And within the past 20 to 30, within the past 15 years, we have had some amazing, explosions with winemakers and wine business, wine business owners and black wine sommeliers coming into the business, and also black enthusiasts and wine business owners coming into the wine business and trying to make a name of their own. And I'm gonna tell you, this is a very it's a very, I love the business that I'm in. But nothing comes easy, and nothing is supposed to come easy. But I am, I am proud to see a show that shows us in a different light, and it it shows us, the King of Napa, the kings, we are, it shows the different light of, black wealth, black excellence, black, black love, even though black love has its ups and downs just like any other type of love. But black family, black love, trying to keep it together, trying to hold the family and the kingdom and the empire that they built so hard and strong together. And I'm glad to see wine black wine business owners and black winemakers get their flowers or get their wine. Because we should be, I mean, we are out here, and we are out here. It may be few for right now, and like I said, people paving the way, such as Black Girl Magic Wines, Old Orleans, um, All Orleans, and there's a Somalia. I can't remember his name right off the bat, but he's on Bon Appetit. I love him. I follow him. I watch him. And also there's a black enthusiast, the black wine guy, and he's on Instagram.